Hi, I'm Melanie Cobb. I'm with Shreveport Sewing Center, and today I'm going to talk about the Baby Lock Alliance. The Alliance is a single needle machine that has the capabilities of the free arm like the multi-needle Baby Lock machines. So you're able to do bags and caps and onesies without any trouble or having to hold anything back while you embroider. Once you get it out of the box, you're going to have to put the A arm on, and this holds all of your gray hoops. It has an A on the arm. And then you also have the E driver, and this holds all of your small mini hoops to your mini hoop set. The A arm will hold your 4x4, which is great for onesies, and it holds your 8x8 for other larger projects. Two other size hoops to have handy is the 5x7, which is additional, and the 1.5x2.5. So let's get started. To attach the A arm, this is a storage position for your two small screws. We will loosen them. And when you take the A arm back to put your hat hoop driver on or your small hoop set driver, you will put these small screws back into this storage position so not to lose them. There are two pins on the embroidery arm. You will have one on the left and one on the right. The pins will go into the left holes, and your small screws will go into the right holes. You have a small silver washer that comes with your machine and your kit, and this is a little screwdriver washer to tighten these screws. You don't want to use a regular flathead screwdriver because it will eat out the plastic. I'm going to turn the machine on by touching the screen and hitting OK for the embroidery unit to move. First things first, we have to oil the machine. And if you go to your screen where the question mark is and go to maintenance, it will show you how to oil it. We're going to turn the machine off. Turn the top of the hand wheel where there is a line, and we're going to rotate it towards you until it matches the arrow that's built into the machine. We will take the bobbin case out, and we will put a drop of oil into the side of the hook, or some people call the race. 1 drop of oil will do. They suggest 1 drop of oil for every 8 hours of sewing. And I've always been told if you ever take your bobbin case out and it's very warm to the touch and you have been sewing for a while, to go ahead and add another drop of oil. We will take the bobbin case and push it back in and turn the machine back on. This machine does use pre-wound bobbins. The paper side is what they suggest. They are the L style, but it also comes with some metal bobbins so you can wind your own thread and even use the same color as the top, on the top, as you do in the bobbin. To thread the machine, if you come to the side and notice, everything is numbered for ease of threading. The one with the circle is to wind the bobbin, and the one without the circle is to thread the machine. You are to wind the bobbin with the 2 left spools, and the 2 right spools are for threading, not winding the bobbin. You can thread from this side, but this is mainly to wind since the bobbin winder is on the left side. To wind the bobbin, we were going to go into the 1, and then 1 comes to 2, 2 comes to the back, which is 3, and you will wind it around. Make sure you're getting up underneath the spring, so in between here. This creates tension to wind a smooth bobbin. If ever the machine winds a lumpy bobbin, you need to take it out and not use it. So we're going to go around here. 4 with the circle comes through this hole, and then if you notice 5 comes down to the side, and we will wind it clockwise about 5 to 6 times, and there is a small cutter on the side that will cut and hold your thread. If I take the bobbin off, you'll be easily to see the cutter. So with it wound 5 or 6 times and cut off, then we're just going to take our bobbin winding lever and we're going to push it into the bobbin. And then if we go to the screen, we are able to adjust the speed, especially if we're winding any type of coarse thread like metallic. And then when I have my speed adjusted, I will just hit start. The bobbin winder will wind, and when it gets full, it will automatically shut off. Or if you just want to wind a half a bobbin, you'll just hit stop on the screen. Okay, now on to threading the machine. Once we have our bobbin threaded, or we're using a pre-wound bobbin inside, we're going to now count without the circles around the numbers. So again, I have an example here. So we go from 1, which is back to the front. We're going to bypass all of this. This is just to wind the bobbin. We're going to come from 1 to 2, to the 2 mark right here. We're going to go in the hole. 2 brings us up underneath. So we're going to snap front and back underneath the tab. We're going to come down and go clockwise around the tension 1 time. And if you notice, they give little helpful lines with arrows. I'm going to lift the little outside of this tension disc, and if you see the disc inside, the thread is in the center of that disc. That's very important. Sometimes your machine will give you an error and it's just not threaded correctly. The thread will have ended up above or below this disc. This tension disc needs to spin as it's running so that the machine knows that the thread is still attached and not broken. From this tension, again, we go to another here in the front and the back. We go all the way down. Number 4 tells us to go back up. Number 5, right to left. We'll go in our take-up lever. We'll drop back down to 6. And then there is a thread guide right above the needle that we will snap it into on the right. And then we'll use our needle threader to thread the machine. Now we're ready to put the hoop on and embroider. To change your hoop sizes, there's 4 different sizes that you can use. Here is the handy screwdriver washer that I like. We're just going to loosen the 2 left ones. The small right screw on the far right stays tight. And if you notice, there are lines at each small screw. Each one of these lines represents a hoop size. And you can't go wrong. If the hoop doesn't fit on there, then you're not at the correct line. I'm going to use the 8x8. So I'm going to pull my arm all the way out to the last line, and I'm going to tighten the screws. Don't forget to tighten it with your screwdriver washer. And putting the hoop on, if you can read the A, that's the way it goes on. So we're going to slide it under each of the little arms and push till it snaps. Make sure you double check and there's no fabric, or especially shirt, caught between the hoop and the free arm. Also make sure that each tab on the left and right of the arm is securely in its place. You don't want to be in the middle of embroidering like this and then it snap in and distort your design. You have a quick reference guide that comes with your machine as well as an instruction manual, and the quick reference guide will show you in detail your different menus, where the designs are in your menus, and what colors each design has. We'll start with the flower menu, and we'll scroll down. and pick a large design for the 8x8 hoop. If you've noticed here, you have the 8x8, the 5x7, the 4x4, and the 1.5 by 2.5. Whatever hoops are highlighted are the hoops this design will fit in. The 8x8 hoop is the only one highlighted, so this design will only fit in the 8x8. It also shows you here your height and your width. If you use the magnifier button, it will show you what it looks like in each hoop, and if you have small lettering, it will allow you to zoom in. The first color is gray, and it's going to show you what exact part of the design that gray is going to be. And if you choose minutes, it will also tell you how many minutes each color approximately takes. If I like this design, I'm going to go to the bottom right of my screen and hit set. And this is going to come to my layout screen. This is where I can move it with my arrows and my hoop. I can mirror image. I can add multiples. I can go in to the color palette and actually change the color of the design. I can rotate and I can resize. When I'm ready to embroider, I'll just hit the embroidery at the bottom right. And now it's set up for embroidery. If I want this whole color and whole design in one color, instead of it stopping and me having to change my colors, I will select the monochrome button, which is the single blue spool. It grays out all of my colors, and now it will do it in one single color without stopping. Another handy button is your trace button, and it is the arrows that form a square with the arrow on the end. And with the laser light on, it's going to show precise placement of your design. Now that my design is placed appropriately, I'm ready to embroider. So I'm going to hit the lock button to unlock the start-stop button and hit start. While your machine is embroidering, it may stop due to thread breakage or maybe your bobbin running out. If it does that, the laser light will come on, and then you will need to touch the minus plus button on your screen. And if you rethread the top or put a new full bobbin in, you're able to go backwards and forwards in your design to pick up where you left off. The -1 will take a stitch backwards at a time. The -10 will also take a 10 stitches backwards. The crosshair on your screen will show you where you are in your design, as well as the laser light. So rethread or put a fresh bobbin in and start again. Once your design is finished, you can now move on to another design and maybe even use the small hoop set, which we will do now. To use the small hoop set, we will have to take off our A-arm that holds all of our gray hoops on. To do this, you will loosen both small gray screws . And pull the arm off. We will now take our small hoop driver, which is E, and again we will put it on like we put our A-arm on. The tabs will go into the left, and the gray screws will go to the right of each tab. Don't forget to use your screwdriver washer to make sure everything is nice and tight. Once I have installed the driver E, if I touch the screen, it now comes up with 4 hoops that are associated with your small hoop set. To attach the small hoops that all have the lowercase e, you're just going to slide on. Make sure they clip in on either side, and I even give a small tug to make sure they're inserted correctly. If you notice on your screen, when you do attach each small hoop, the hoop size will come up into your screen, and now you know where to place your design or your lettering to fit inside the hoop. If it does not fit into this circle or oval, you will not be able to use it. So if I'm going to do a name, it will allow me to use 2 of the 4 hoops, and they are highlighted. But if I rotate this name, I am now able to use this oblong hoop that I have on. To change to the different size mini hoops, you will lift up on each end and kind of squeeze up as you slightly wiggle left and right out. And again, I will attach my other one by sliding it in and making sure it snaps. I also like to hold the back of the embroidery arm just to give it to support as I snap it in. And again, now the size of the mini hoop that you have recently attached comes up on the screen. That is the basics of the Baby Lock Alliance. Thank you for visiting our Shreveport Sewing Center channel. Be sure to like and subscribe so that you can receive future videos. Leave any questions you have in the comments below, and we'll be sure to answer them. Give us a call at 318-688-2402, and we can also help you over the phone. Congratulations on your baby lock. For the love of sewing.